Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is AshTheMan, and we're going to be talking about Tokyo Ghoul Episode 4. Now, Episode 4 is Commence the Operation. The operation to eliminate Big Mama and also, rescue, capture civilians. But the primary objective is to eliminate Big Mama. Now, in the course of this, we take stage with Mitsuzaki being captured for the Ghoul auction, getting seeing how they operate, underground. Ghoul world is definitely something you have to consider to be a really jacked up place. Because if you're captured and sold to the highest bidder, at that point, once you're being sold, these people who buy you have so much money to hide themselves. You pretty much you're unfindable at that point. I don't know how to stress this. I wouldn't say dead, but just unfindable. Now, I would like to see a little bit of history with Mitsuzaki, like breaking down, past history. Maybe he was in some type of orphanage or whatever. But however, it got known that he was a half ghoul. In the CCG, they consider them to be quicks. In the ghoul world, since they represent a half ghoul, they're going to be represented as a half ghoul. Period. Now, with this being said, Mitsuzaki, auction ended up going for all whopping 200 million. That's pretty much how much the half ghouls actually is being sold or worth, under underground royalties. There's something that the ghouls are able to eat without having that, total feedback that they get once they eat another ghoul. It's kind of like one of them taboos. You don't eat another ghoul because at that point, you will have to constantly eat other ghouls, in which that will put a large radar on you. And any ghoul who's controlling that world will find you and kill you, pretty much. Now, with that being said, this ghoul auction not just only deals with ghouls, they actually deal with humans too. You get to see a has-been actor. They really catch his name, really don't care because not really that part of the character, but you get to see that his bid ended up being at 120, was bought by this member that was number 33, which he's supposed to be one of the most wealthiest ghouls. So maybe we'll get to see him and learn more about him, but however, he's not taking up too much of his time. But in the course of this, you get to see Juzo pretty much take the stage and put a knife in, I would say, a good 15 to 20 ghouls there. You used to see how many knives you just throw out there. But however, in the course of that, you get to see Tokyo Cub's brother, Ayato, pretty much take the stage to protect them and going against Juzo. Now, in the course of this, we take a break from that and seeing that the CCG has arrived and has commenced their squads to move in. Now, you get to see Nazo pretty much move to the front lines and ripping through some of the CCG members, mostly some of the people who we really don't see. But however, you can see that the aggro tree is definitely taking a bit of this and don't want Big Mom to be killed. Very interesting. Now, in the course of this, we get to see the main squad, which is Hosei / Kaneki and his squad, move in to, pretty much to go in this operation to find Big Mom and pretty much put her ass down. But in the course of this, they see that they get stopped by this guy who got two hammer hands, who's pretty much is giving them kind of a work. Now you see more CCG members arrive, and mainly some of the veterans. And the veterans explain to Kaneki and them to go on ahead and let us handle this. Now, eventually, you see the elder CCG members attack and pretty much go about it. But however, they did beat him, but then another member of the aggro tree pretty much takes out one of the lead OGs and snaps his neck. One may say, or maybe even broke it. Maybe broke his neck from his head and detached it, whatever. But he did it with one hand, lifting him up in the air. So it's definitely, you need to get to see him use his kangi. So that's definitely crazy. Now, we come down the hall, we get to see the clowns again. Now, the clowns, I believe, is some type of faction, because in the ghoul world, there are many factions, but the clowns is something, a particular, group that is going to play a major part in the ghoul universe. I just have that feeling. So, you get to see one of the members get slashed. She starts laughing and say, help, and then takes out one of the new, CCG investigators and pretty much is laughing about it. my girl. Laugh about it, stab him, head. You can even take his head off, make it more entertaining. Now, you get to see the main clown dude that took a couple of knives to the head by Juzo. There, he even took another stab by one of the CCG members and just stood there like nothing happened. So these clowns are definitely not just no ordinary ghouls. They're strong, very strong. So I believe they will be a problem later. Now, after all this, with everything commencing going on, we can honestly say that this episode is definitely an interesting one. It's a good episode, but the thing about it is that when you have so many things going on, you're jumping from one scene, another scene, to another scene, to another scene, it kind of leaves you like, man, it's kind of crazy because with this episode, like for instance, there's even another scene like where Mitsuzaki ended up in a room because the person that was transferred after the auction, he pretty much hit old girl, knocked her to the ground, and disappeared. Now, one of the SHU members who was in the auction also found him, beat him up a little bit, got a taste of his blood, and started reacting some of his SHU's personality, like how he smelled kind of keep off in the first season and start going some type of pervert. But you got to see that too, and then the taxi ghoul killer came and tried to save Mitsuzaki, but end up getting beat up, and Mitsuzaki escapes, and the follower from SHU was still trying to look for him. So you see, that kind of thing is what I'm talking about. It's so many things that's going on. And I mean, as good as they have a lot of activity to keep the episode lively, we cannot lose the true purpose. It still needs to be a main focus on what's going on, because even though this is a commenced operation, we can't forget about what people are focused more on. And if they would have had it to where that Mitsuzaki got like a 10-minute cameo on this, they probably want to make things different, or at least follow the main squad to make sure what they're doing and how is they taking everything in, or what they may do, and how important is the target. So the episode does do some things with it, but it still keeps it up lively, in which I think at that point that's what we can say. We can't say it's really much creative. It just feels like we're just getting thrown with a bunch of stuff and figure it out, put the pieces together for what they're saying. So, but I do thank you guys for definitely tuning in for my review this week. We can definitely expect a more in-depth episode coming to episode 5, because with this kind of like thing that's going on, we don't want to lose the main focus or lose interest in something because of this kind of episode. I think this is going to be kind of like a taste, and they're going to probably focus on that one thing, because in everybody like situation, there can only be something that can be more of an impact, and anything less than that will definitely not be a good thing. But again, thank you so much. Follow me on Instagram, AshTheMan08, and on Twitter, AshTheMan008. It's been a pleasure. Y'all have a wonderful one. Goodbye.